Now there are two types of threads. One is called a main thread or the UI thread, and the other one is called the worker thread or the background thread. So you can create any number of threads in the background, and on the top you have only one thread. So that is your main thread. Similarly, in Android or in most of the applications, you have a main thread. Only main thread can touch the UI. So if you want to change anything in the user interface, that can only be done by the by the main thread. But the problem is, if you are making a network call on the main thread, you are not sure when you will get the response back. When you are hitting a server, you don't actually know whether the server is up or not. You don't know that in how much time the server will send you a response back. So in that scenario, what will happen? Your UI, your interface will freeze. And as a user perspective, if your interface is frozen, you are not able to do anything, then it's a bad experience to the user. So that's why Android does not allow you to make network calls in the UI thread. And there's one more thing. After waiting 5 seconds or 10 seconds, you will get an ANR exception, Android not responding. Okay, so if you are making a network operation on a main thread and after 10 seconds it is not responding, then user will get a dialog that do you want to close this app, and he will close your application, right? Now the second problem that we have is, if you want to change anything in the UI, you cannot do it from a background thread. So we can perform our network operation on a background thread, but we cannot change our UI on the background thread. And for this thing, we have something called AsyncTask. So AsyncTask provides you easy use of UI thread. What it does, it works in the background thread. It does the work in the background thread and publishes the result on the UI thread. So what will happen actually? The whole process of fetching the data from the server back to your mobile will be done on a background thread. And when it is done, and then afterwards you want to change or show the results to the user on the UI, that part will be done on a main thread. And it is a helper class to design around, which is designed around these threads and handlers. So we have threads and handlers for the same stuff, and this async task can be used for the same purpose, and it is ideal for short operations. So basically, these two methods will be of our use. The first is the do in background, which will run on a background thread, and on post execute, which will run on the main thread. So now let's make this change in our code. So instead of doing this thing, we will need a class here. So let me just make an async task here. So I can make an async task, public class JSON task extends async task. It takes 3 parameters. So the first parameter is the URL. So it will be, what will be giving? We'll be giving the URL itself. URL. The second is the string for now, and string again for now. And now it will show you some errors. Alt enter, implement method, doing background. So we have got the doing background. There's one more method which we will need, that is on post execute. So this is our on post execute. So what we will do here, now the on click, the whole code from the on click will be fetched from here, and we will put it in the doing background. So all of these are connections and everything will be done in the background. So this is our URL, and this setting the data on the text view. We will not do this thing here. We will do this thing here in the post execute. And let's change it to result, and our TV data is not accessible from here. So what we will do here, we will make our TV data a field. So Alt Enter, Control Alt Shift T, and make it a field. So our TV data is now a field. That's the shortcut. So TV data.setText, that's it, almost done. Okay, what is this error? Nothing. Okay, so now when we will click on the button, instead of writing all of that code we have done here, we have switched that code in the JSON task. Now we will call our JSON task to execute the things for us. So we will write new JSON task dot execute, and here in the execute you can pass the URL. We can pass it here, and we can receive it in this params variable. So params 0. Okay, we are getting the URL itself, so we have to do this stuff. Okay, let's change it to string. Okay, that's it. So we will be passing a string here, it will be converted into a URL here, and then it will execute and all of this stuff will happen here. Now this method do in background takes a value in return, which is a string value because of this string. So now in the end we will return null. If we are not able to do the stuff, then we will simply return null. And here if we are able to get the data, then we will return buffer.toString. Now the error will be gone. Okay, so when we will return buffer.toString, the complete data will be returned from here to this on post execute method, and this value buffer.toString will be passed to this variable result, and we are now showing the result variable here. Alright, so that's it for now. Now let's run this thing once more, and we will face one more problem, and after that we will be able to run it completely successfully. Okay, so now let me just run it once again. Running my application. Okay, so it's done, and it will show in a second. It's slow, I know. So now if I click hit, again one more error, and this will be, I promise that this will be the last error that you will see. Now let's see what is this error. It says security exception and permission denied, missing internet permission. What it really say that your application cannot access internet because you haven't defined any permission in the manifest file. But why do I define an internet permission, and why do we need an internet permission for the first thing, right? Basically the thing is that user is supposed to know that your application can access internet. So we have to define our permission here. Uses permission internet, that's it, and this permission will be shown to the user, and it will be shown with proper details that this application can access internet. So yeah, the data can be fetched or sent to internet from your mobile. So you are as a user you are supposed to know that this application can access internet. Now if I run this application again, I promise that it will not crash, and most probably we will get our result. Now let's wait one more time. Let's run it one more time. and let's see what happens. Let me just reconnect it. Okay, so now it has started and we have the hit here, and now I will click on the hit button. So in the background it is fetching the data, and the data is fetched from the server. As you can see, the same data, Avengers year 2012, is fetched. This is the data. The things are not so good, but this is the data.